I'll introduce the two players while you're doing that for you. That will probably be
sure.
the easiest way. So in the lower left position, we do have the green Zerg player playing for Team Druids. It is Dax. And now his opponent in the top right position, we do have the red Zerg. It is playing for Team LiquidRet. So ZVZ all the way.
Yeah, it is. Now, as I was trying to say before my attention was diverted by this little piece of software that lets us show you guys the score and various other information. Early game ZVZ is really one of the, or should I say, my favorite parts to watch, because it's very micro intensive. You know, as soon as the Ling Bling wars start happening, if it comes to that, you know, sometimes players just elect to skip the banelingness and just go straight roaches and play ultra defensively. But that micro part at the start of the matches, that's what really makes it the most fun to watch, because later on, when it transitions into that Roach Infestor, which is the most stable strategy to go for, of course, it's not as entertaining for me. I don't know how about you, but as you know, from the casters and viewers' point of view, I really love the early game in ZVZ.
It's really fun to watch. Having played many ZVZs though, it is very, very, very stressful.
Yeah, I know.
And
I can imagine.
like the trouble with it is scouting in ZVZ, and a lot of reasons maybe newer Zerg players struggle with this matchup is because when you come into scout, it's very difficult to read what your opponent's doing. It's all about looking at how many drones they've got and how many lava they've got banked, and that is the important thing you're checking for. But for the moment, these two players both going down for an early hatchery. Red went for a pull before hatch, whereas Dax went hatch before pull. And all in all, that is both very viable builds. Dax now getting up his gas slightly earlier. That's usually what you'll do if you go for an earlier hatch as well. Just get the gas ASAP. So we will wait and see what these two are going to do. But for the moment, looks like macro.
It looks like it. Of course, we will be interested to see how much gas each of these players will elect to mine. That will kind of tell us if they're trying to go for faster roaches, if they're trying to go for a third base, if they're trying to go for a baneling nest, or you know, optionally, how many of those. So far, they're just going to mine their standard 100, of course, to get that speed, to feel a little bit safe, so that they can move out on the map without fear of getting cornered by speedlings and them having slowlings. Of course, that would be sad.
So what we really want to check for, and this is another cool little scouting knowledge bomb you want to do, is when your opponent could be up to 100 gas, you want to scout their extractor to see whether they pull all of their drones out, because some will pull out one, some will pull out two, or in the case of Red here, pulls out none of them. So that means quicker banelings, quicker roaches are viable. So that just means he's in a more defensive position, ready to deal with anything that could be coming up.
And look at Dax. He stopped mining gas exactly at 100. Like, there is not one more ounce of gas mined from that extractor.
Which is good play. It's how you want to do it. It means that Dax will have a couple of additional drones out a bit earlier on. He will have a lot. He should have a better economy. But now following this up with 2 additional gas, but Red will have his banelings out sooner. But it's likely that he will use those only defensively, getting the spine crawler down as well now. So some defensive banelings are what you want to be doing, just to make sure that any big speedling pushes will get deterred. But Dax, considering he's macroing like a beast, he's already 6 workers ahead of Ret.
Yeah, Red is keeping pace though. He is making those drones as soon as he can, and you were right to say that he is going to be using those banelings defensively. That spine crawler, of course, is a clear indication of that. And of course, Red not being the type of player that would be all up in your face from minute 1 of the game. Dax getting double evolution chambers and a spine crawler. What do you think this could be? And a sort of fastish lair. A little bit faster than we usually see. But
Muta.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Very interesting that we don't see the fourth gas, the other one in the main, being taken yet by
it
Dax.
could be. The other thing, apart from Muta, is it can be a 1-1 upgraded Roach Push, which now 1-1 has just come down, is what it's going to be. The only reason you get those evolution chambers, if you weren't going for this Roach Push, is to create the wall off to protect you against speedling pushes, which can actually be a really nice thing to do, and it's a solid strategy in any build you're going for. But now we see Ret taking his third. It is scouted by the Overlord for Dax. So therefore, these two should be fairly aware of timings and things like that. Ret's got an Overlord at Dax's third. But this one-run Roach push, it will have Roach speed as well, can be very potent and difficult to hold if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah, and, you know, Ret probably knows the timing of this very, very well. We still have about... something under 2 minutes before that +1/+1 finishes. Nice block there with those queens.
Yeah.
And look at this. Look at the timing of Red's Roach Warren, if I find it. He is going to have just enough roaches, I feel like, when Dax starts pushing out, but he will also have a third base. The problem is that he will most likely be... Oh no, he's getting +1/+1 as well, so the upgrades should be kind of even as well.
Exactly, those upgrades are going to be very close. There's going to be a 5-second period where Dax will be ahead in terms of the worker count, but I don't think this is going to work out for him. Ret should be comfortably able to defend this. He will have a good number of defensive units, and as long as he doesn't lose that third hatchery, Red will come out very far ahead from this engagement, but it's just about reading it. And all Red was really going to be concerned about, if I take a look at his vision, was that he knew the lair was coming down, is whether it's going to be a Muta play or Roach play. But now we see the third base forced to cancel by just a handful of speedlings there for Red. That was really nice play by him there, and it's just solidifying his lead.
Yeah, it's just putting him that much more ahead, delaying the additional base, also delays production because there are no macro hatches, of course, so far. So not having that third hatch up also eats into the larva count.
Do it again.
Yeah, he's coming back for round 2, just as Dax is pushing towards the third. But look at the roach count for Red on the defensive. It's 25 versus 27. And Red is not in the best of positions, though. More links coming in to reinforce, but Dax has the better concave. Third base has been either... It's actually been killed. Wow.
That's